Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of Midweek Matters. Now, Midweek Matters, we've had a bit of a flip, haven't we, Charlie? Because our cheese is not melted, but crumbled. What's a crumbly cheese that you
like a feta?
Feta, yeah, like a feta-y garnish on top of.
He's crumbled. His hand specifically is crumbled.
Yes.
So he's in surgery today, the big fella.
Yeah.
But he'll still be back tomorrow, Thursday. You'll have jam and cheese come out. So
Stale.
we just had to be dynamic this week, you know?
Yeah, we
Like
do.
a good football side, you know? We've had an issue, but we've papered up the cracks.
But we've not
rotated it
left
around.
the jam and cheese out
No, we
to
couldn't.
go stale. We put it back in the fridge.
Yep.
We want to leave it there. We'll bring it out Thursday. Midweek Matters. Technically still midweek. So.
Technically still midweek, yeah. It's almost Wednesday, so... maybe we should change the name for a week, but that's fine. We won't. We'll stick with Midweek Matters.
No, because that'll take up more of our precious time.
Yep.
But
But
also
also...
with a new name.
Yeah. So let's just not worry about doing that.
And also, everybody that's watching this, don't adjust your set. Charlie's just had a new fancy haircut.
Thanks, mate.
It's not your internet's not slow and it's flickering. He's gone really short at the sides and left it long on top.
Do you like it?
Like I personally wouldn't go for it.
But yeah, I don't know if you could grow your hair like mine as well.
That's true.
You might be more follically challenged.
Yes. I prefer the normal.
I think this is my normal haircut.
I think you've gone...
It's a slightly shorter maybe at the bottom.
Yeah, and slightly longer on top.
Do you reckon slightly longer on top?
Yeah.
I'll have to have a word with my man, Hammond,
Hammond.
if he's listening. Anyway, let's move on because the Origin teams are in, Jimmy. And as always, thanks to Tui's, we start every Midweek Matters. How do you feel, Jimmy, about the Origin teams?
Well, how do I feel? I feel like a team naming has never created so much talk, so much hype, so many headlines. Like Origin, each and every year, it does seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more talking points. There's more media people involved. You know, there's more channels wanting to cover it. Things like podcasts come to fruition. But I can't recall a selection and a team announcement being picked apart, both sides. You know, usually it's New South Wales with a couple of players to debate, and but this time it's Queensland's turn to be in the headlines, and it's given the New South Wales media plenty of ammunition. People saying, "Oh, they've lost the plot up there. They don't pick and stick. They've gone against their values and all this," and you're like, whoa, just simmer down a little bit. And everyone's like, well, I would have done this and I would have done that. Everyone's got their opinion. There are a few, I guess, what you might call sort of surprises. One that, for me, that's not been spoken about is Kurt Capewell not being there. Like, I heard that he was under an injury cloud, but I don't know. I know... or I've been told that Billy Slater is a big fan of Tom Gilbert, but whether or not he can play on an edge, that
He's playing the edge for the Cowboys before when he was there.
But
he's been used more in the middle by the Dolphins.
He has playing that sort of lock forward role. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. You know, people talking about Dane Gagai, and I get the point putting the hammer in at centre. Yes, the hammer's been playing outstanding football for the Dolphins, but he's up against Latrell.
And he hasn't been playing outstanding football in the centres.
No, exactly. So he's got the biggest task, I think, of the night. Like, people look at Walsh and say he's got it, but I think that the hammer's job is the most difficult of everybody in that Queensland's team, because he's got to contain Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah,
which is that's a tough proposition.
It's a lot of pressure to put on a young player as well, who is playing out of position already, and then you put him against the most devastating player in the whole of the New South Wales team. Like, and I think he's going to be on that right side with Cobbo, is what we think will happen. Yeah. So Cobbo's not exactly known for his defense either. It's going to be really tough for them to stop Latrell Mitchell.
It is. And you know what? I've had this conversation over and over with myself, but then I'm like, well, if you coach Billy Slater, what's the easy option?
Gagai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple,
but the
right?
easy option isn't always the wrong option either.
Exactly.
you thought I was going to say it isn't always the right option. But sometimes I think you were going to go down the path that Gagai was the easy option, but maybe the wrong option. Whereas Gagai has played 22 Origins in a row for Queensland, and you could say he's probably been one of their top 3 players in the last 12 Origin games he's played.
So the easy option then is to just pick and stick and go with him.
So why hasn't he picked him then?
Well, because obviously Billy Slater has seen something and gone, either there's something against Dane Gagai. We saw him get one-on-one with Connor Tracy and sort of get beaten and burnt. So maybe that, I've not watched Dane Gagai with a fine-tooth comb like Billy Slater would have done.
No, of
but
course.
then maybe he's seen something in the hammer that he just thinks I've got to pick him. Because like I say, man, that, like, you know he's coming up against the trail. So, yeah, most people would just go, let's, in the Queensland jersey, in that maroon jersey, get Dane Gagai in there.
Yeah, but I mean, Dane Gagai hasn't been played that well in clubland for the last couple of years, you could argue.
But he's played really well for Origin.
Origin, yeah. So maybe he's just one of those guys that you just put in there. I think Queensland, they always talk about pick and stick, but the reality is Queensland never has as much depth as New South Wales. New South Wales always have a million more options, and that's probably why they don't pick and stick as much as Queensland have done over the years. This year, Queensland's got a lot of depth, and what have they done? They've abandoned their values of pick and stick. They've abandoned them. They have. See,
I think this is all going to be part of the preparation as well. Like, look at the New South Wales media. They hate you. They're laughing at you. They're telling you Latrell's going to give him a bath. Like, they'll be playing up to this.
I mean, some of the players you might look around and go, Gagai should be there though as well. They might say, they might trust Gagai in that environment more. They might think, what's Billy doing here? Like, not picking Kate Wells, massive one. You're right. David Fifita, you could argue, did too much that he just had to be in that team.
Yeah. But I think, like, my idea would have been, before Kafusi got suspended, would have been Kafusi, Capewell, and Fifita off the bench.
Right.
And obviously Nanai is suspended as well.
Suspended, yep.
So look, it is strange. I guess anytime I've been hearing the talk of Origin, this Queensland players where it's like, oh, who are they going to pick? Like, how are they going to fill that bench? And then even you think the likes of Josh Papali'i has just
let's assume he was told by Billy Slater he wasn't going to get picked.
Yeah, you got to assume. Yeah,
that.
Then you've got Christian Welsh not in the team.
That's such a big call because he's the Nathan Cleary stopper.
He is, isn't he?
That's what he's known for.
Every single time Nathan Cleary was going to put boot to ball, you can guarantee Welsh would be there.
Yeah,
just making life difficult. And then you think the other guy that has been touted about, his teammates got a debut jersey for New South Wales, and that's Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah,
Corey Horsburgh is the type of player, right? That if he was from New South Wales, he wouldn't get near Origin. But they'd say he's the type of player that Queensland would pick and he'd play 20 Origins for Queensland. That's him, right?
Yeah.
If he was from New South Wales, they'd be like, yeah, he's a Queenslander because of the way he plays. And he'd play 20 Origins. And then, I don't know, I guess there's still 2 games left to go in the series and a lot can happen. But basically the point I'm trying to make is that Queensland now, they do have these choices or decisions to make. And even the one with going with Walsh at the back, I don't like to say this, but I feel that Ponga's health has come into it.
Yeah.
And the worry is that he would need to go off for a HIA.
Is that a fair worry for Queensland to have?
It's just a realistic one.
Yeah.
And it goes against what we're trying to do as a game and as a society with concussion, where it's like you don't get treated any differently and all that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to State of Origin, which you look at it and go, well, is that the tipping point in his decision where he goes, well, if I'm playing against Queensland, so Billy Slater and the selectors will be there. If I'm playing against us, you're going to put that ball up as high as you can, and as soon as KP catches it, you're going to be after him. Now, one slightly illegal play, and and with Origin things get a bit more lenient, I think there is a concern about his ability to play the 80 minutes.
Yeah. I think it's probably a fair concern, especially that collision.
I don't like it, but it is what it is.
But that collision on Saturday,
yeah,
that wasn't like a massive collision. He obviously passed his HA, went out, and maybe the Newcastle, they've got a plan to be extra conscious about all that sort of stuff with Kalen Ponga. Maybe it's not that he maybe put his hand up and said he needed to go off for a HIA.
No, but it was on the verge of Category 1.
Yeah, but it wasn't a big collision, was it?
No, it wasn't. But I mean, I thought he was lucky to be allowed to come on, being honest.
Right. Yeah, right.
But based off what I witnessed anyway, I thought that would go into the category of you don't retain no matter what goes on in the sheds. But
the thing about the Queensland pick and stick that I think is before this series started, the Queensland were slight underdogs. And I was like, Queensland will win this series easily, is what I was thinking as a New South Wales fan. Now that the teams have come out, I've actually gone the opposite. I think New South Wales can win this series and win it quite comfortably. What do you think about, now that you've seen the two teams, I know you would probably lean towards Queensland as well. Are you still leaning towards Queensland?
I was. I'm probably with you. Looking at the teams on paper, I'm going more towards New South Wales now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've left out some of their best Origin players. I really think they have. Christian Welsh and Dan Gagai. New South Wales fans are scared of those two men. New South Wales players are concerned when they see Dan Gagai in an Origin jersey. He turns into a different human being.
Mate, I reckon we might see them in this series.
Yeah?
Game 2. As a reaction.
So they lose game 1. Gagai's back game 2. Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah. The couple of other things that I want to talk about. I saw yesterday on Triple M, you said that you would have rather had Matt Burton in the team over Nicho Hines as the utility. Mm-hmm. And that's just purely because you think he covers more?
Yeah. No doubt Nicho Hines is playing, I think, at the moment, better football than Matt Burton is. But I think Matt Burton gives you more utility value.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Nothing against Nicho Hines. I could make a case for him being the number 6.
Yep.
And actually probably, and again, this is what everybody says, I'd do this, I'd do that, but I would have picked him at 6.
Because the counter-argument to your Nicho Hines thing is Nicho Hines used to come off the bench for Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he did a pretty good job off the bench. He came in at sort of key notes, especially that year where I think Pappenhausen went down for a HIA. He's out for a little while, or I can't remember. He's out for some sort of injury. And then Nicho Hines came into the starting lineup, then moved back to the bench. And then he would come off the bench and play a pretty crucial role.
Yeah, no, you're right in that sense. You are right in that sense.
Like maybe they throw him on there if they're 20 to go, they're down 6, and he can just make something happen.
Yeah,
I mean, you can say the same about Burton, obviously.
Yeah. I just think the way Nicho Hines has evolved and come of age, like he's better than that now, and no doubt he'll take a lot of confidence from doing that role not that long ago. But I probably would have started him at 6. But again, God, we've all got our opinions and selections. But I genuinely think Matt Burton is a better utility than Nicho Hines. But that's just my opinion.
The other thing I want to know how you feel about is Tavita Pangai Jr.
Well, I heard Freddie Fittler's comments about why he's in the team. I'm not buying it. He's there for the rough and tumble. Yeah. He's there for it to go off.
Yeah,
that's what he's there for. I think when we analyse front rowers, we often look at contribution over the course of 80 minutes. So we look at numbers in terms of number of runs, number of meters, post-contact meters, tackles made, tackles lost, right? But for me, I think there's an opportunity in the game, and this is at all teams, for a genuine 15-minute front row. You don't need everybody to play 60 minutes. So you don't need in a team, you don't need in terms of, so if you look at the forwards, the props and the lock forward, there's 240 minutes to be played between generally 3 starters and 3 middle-ish players off the bench. So if you've got 3 lads knocking out 60, that only leaves another 60 minutes between 3 players.
Yeah.
So I think what New South Wales are going to do. I think
that's if your back rowers can play 80 though as well. Isn't it?
That's assuming your back rowers can knock out 80. So there's not that much time there. I think there is a role. Everyone thought the game's going to go quick and we need all players to play big minutes. I don't think you do. I think you need a specialist front rower that would train differently from the rest of the group, because we only need him for 15 minutes twice a game, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe even 12.
It's kind of like a Spencer Leniu.
Spencer Leniu would have been perfect, but
he's
ruptured his testicle, which is not fun. But that said, Tavita Pangai Jr. comes in. I think he's going to assume that role of short burst, but then also he's there for his very presence. We saw how he stood up to Tino last week. Like, he made a beeline from him. He's not scared of Tino. Like, he ran straight at him twice. Like, straight at him. Like, didn't care the consequences. But I also think that Fittler is concerned about how they lost the game up in Queensland last year. I think Queensland played dirty, and they Gay Guy punched Burton in the face. I think Queensland were ready for it. I don't think New South Wales were. I think New South Wales were sort of shocked, as if to say, hang on, did we get in a time machine and we're playing in the 90s? It's like, no, we're playing now. 2 players got sin-binned, and I think it rattled New South Wales. They didn't have the type of character to stand up to that. I think Pangai Jr. is your man to stand up to that. You look at some of the firecrackers in the team in terms of Lindsay Collins, Tino,
Flegler.
Like, don't be surprised. Like, watching these games, it's not who's the most skillful team. It's not who's the best team on paper. It's who can find a way to win. And Queensland found a way to win that decided last year. And a lot of that was bending the rules, playing the dark arts. They got them the victory. No one cares how they got it. It's like, we won. All is fair in love and war. You know, you can point to that, but I think New South Wales have picked him being ready to go. Yeah. Just in case Queensland even think about doing it again.
I love that explanation. At this stage, he's going to start. Like, whether or not that happens, we often see teams get shuffled around just before kickoff, but the bench of New South Wales is a really interesting one, because when initially we saw the squad come out, because New South Wales released their squad first, whereas Queensland gave us the starting lineup, and that bench of Grant, Tino Fasul Malawi, Ruben Cotter and Jai Arrow was terrifying. However, the New South Wales bench now, we've seen it come out, Junior Barlow, Cam Murray, Liam Martin, Nico Hines. Yeah. That's a really strong bench as well. Do you think they've moved Murray to the bench and Liam Martin to the bench to match the energy Queensland will be able to bring off their bench?
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they stick with that. I think
because maybe you could have Yo play 30 minutes, then have a little rest, then Cam Murray comes in at lock, plays 30 minutes, and then Yo comes back out there.
Maybe Murray moved to an edge.
Yeah, Murray could move to an edge. Liam Martin, he's been playing in the middle for Penrith. Yeah. So based on the look of the side, it looks like he's going to play in the middle for New South Wales.
Yeah, they've gone for a lot of pace.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say leg speed. I'm going to say they've gone for quick forwards.
Yep.
Through the ruck. You know, a lot of agility. That's where I think they'll look to get them. But then say that, and with pace, they've not gone with the speedy number 9. They've gone with the deceptive number 9. So I think that will actually work in their favour. Where Api Coruscant, a couple of steps into a quick Cameron Murray, a quick Tyson Frizzell, who I'm delighted for, by the way, that he's back. He's worked his balls off up there at Newcastle. Quick Hudson Young, you know, Isaiah Yeo, run, look to pass, back inside. I think that's the game plan for New South Wales. And even, you know, thinking back to that game where Tommy Turbo played as a second fullback and was given free rein, I don't think we'll see that from him this time around. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Latrell assume that role. I don't think Trbojevic is playing with the same level of confidence, the same level of freedom. the same level of brilliance and form that he was during that Origin series. But I think obviously Latrell definitely is. So I wouldn't be surprised to see at some point Latrell look to play around the middle of the field and just wait for one of those guys to get a quick ruck, and then he's going.
Do you think Latrell and Tommy are maybe the difference for New South Wales? Having those guys in the outside backs. We saw whenever Tom Trbojevic is fit and playing for New South Wales normally win. I think we maybe underestimated, or no, we didn't underestimate, but last year, no Latrell Mitchell, no Tom Trbojevic. It was massive for New South Wales. Like, I looked at that team for game 3 last year where New South Wales lost. This team for game 1 is so much stronger.
Yeah,
and when you look at Latrell Mitchell and Tom Trbojevic, I think it just would instill so much confidence in the playing group.
Well, when those two were missing last year, there's so many question marks. Who's going to play centre? Tony Staggs, Jack Whiten,
Stephen Crichton, I think, had a crack.
It was kind of, no one really knew. But when they're both fit, and you've got Tedesco at the back, you well, obviously Tommy was spoken about potentially not, but I think they're all available and playing well. You go with them. Like, there's no choice. Where I think last year perhaps it was, a lot of chat about who was going to play in the centres.
You'll have a jam and cheese show before State of Origin, and also next week after State of Origin, Gordon Tallis is going to be in to recap Origin. So stick around for that, everybody.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be good. And that was all thanks to Tui's. How do you feel, Jimmy? I feel like a Tui's or two.
We're going to take a quick break from the show to talk about our new partner, AG1. Now, I love AG1. I've been taking them for about 6 months now. I've noticed multiple health benefits. My gut feels better. My focus is more clear. My intensity in my workouts has gone up as well. And this is all thanks to AG1. It's the one-stop solution for all your supplement needs. I love starting my day with a refreshing glass of AG1. So simple. 1 scoop in the glass, some cold water, give it a stir, or if you want to go fancy and get the shake, do that as well. But it's so easy. It takes out the guesswork with your supplement requirements. If you miss it in the morning, take it at night. I never miss a day with AG1, and I am reaping the rewards from it. And the best thing about it is it tastes great too. And you can really start to feel the benefits. Have it as a simple part of your routine, and you'll see the benefits too. So if you're looking to make positive change with your health outcomes, check out AG1. You will not be disappointed. There's 75 high-quality ingredients. Take care of all your nutritious needs every single day. It's a small habit that you start and gets big results. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So to check out this exclusive buy round listeners deal, head to athleticgreens.com/buy round. That's athleticgreens.com/buy round. Your only place to get the free 1-year supply of vitamin D from Athletic Greens plus 5 free travel packs. Make sure you check it out or click in the show notes where we'll have that link for you as well. Please don't delay and get your Athletic Greens today.
Let's move on then to another thing that is a bit Origin related. Obviously, Felix Kafusi suspended for Origin game 1. Tina Fasul Malawi avoided suspension. Should suspensions count for representative football, or should you just be able to use your suspension for club football?
You know what, Charlie, the more I've sat on this and thought about this, I'm in on that. Like, if you're suspended for your club, you're not suspended for Origin, but obviously you've got to, reassume that suspension.
Yeah, I think
when you come back.
So it's like a suspended suspension in a sense. You go, because
it's a different entity.
Yeah,
and you're playing the NRL banner, but you're not. Yeah,
and we saw the system.
It's a hard one. I think it would be better for everybody concerned if it was, it would help the NRL as well.
Yep.
Like, why should anybody be punished? So if Felix Kafusi did that in August, he'd get 3 weeks. but because he does it in the latter part of May, he still gets 3 weeks, but the consequence for that action is higher. So it is disproportionately affected. And I think on those players eligible for Origin, it's likely unfair. And then also you get the whole, it gets messy. It reduces the mess when it comes to, we'll say Christian Welsh got suspended, right? Can he use his Origin game? Do you know?
Yeah.
Because he would have been picked.
Yeah.
So that he misses a game. So I don't know.
For me, they're not worth the same.
Yeah, it's not.
They're different environments. And also, we saw the system during the World Cup rorted by a lot of NRL clubs as well, where players were using suspensions, getting rid of them in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just make it clubland, it's like, oh, well, hey. But also, we want our best players playing in Origin.
Exactly.
We don't.
Exactly.
And it's the same, I think, in like this is maybe a bit less, you might not agree with this, but I think in grand finals as well. If someone gets suspended for something, if someone does something in a preliminary final, maybe they can suspend it or give them an option to trade it for like 3 games next year. All right, you've got 1 game suspension for the grand final, you're missing it, or you can do 3 games next year. We're offering Ryan Madison the final.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say,
why can't we offer them
Mate,
the grand final?
What, Charlie, you
month?
speak a lot of sense, but then obviously some of the decisions of back into last year. Nah,
I'll take the grand final.
I'll take the grand final. Nah, I shouldn't be. No, I'm not missing 3 games next year. I'm on matches. Oh, could you imagine? Well, that's it. No one's going to take it, are they? So,
No.
I don't know.
All right, but you say they shouldn't count.
I tend to agree with you, yes.
Yep. All right, well, let's move on then to a bit of action from round 12. Obviously, we've spoken a heap about Origin, and all the focus moves now to Origin, so we won't speak too much about Clubland, but a couple of things. Josh Schuster was unbelievable. It's great to see him come back.
He's just going to keep doing it and not see this as the finish line, because we all know what Josh Schuster's capable of. But obviously Manly have seen something there where he needs to go away and work on it. So what do you do now? Do you go, I'm here, I'm finished, I'm arrived, I'll fall back into the bad habits, or do I keep doing what I'm doing? It's about being consistent. And look, when he plays like he does, he's amazing. But he's still young. He's got plenty of improvement in him. But it's about sticking to it. But Manly just, I think, shocked everybody. There was a number of shocks there, wasn't there? Like, Tigers putting 66 on the Cowboys. Like, what's going on there?
Where has that come from?
Jerome Bula, what a player.
Yeah.
I think they're learning how to play with Api Coruscant.
Yeah.
Is a big factor.
The Dragons on the bell against the Roosters.
On the bell on such an emotional week.
Yeah.
When you think, cometh the man, cometh the hour, James Tedesco, club, state and country captain, you think, oh, he's done it. And then Dragons never say die attitude after they've been in situations so similar. There was one against the Tigers. There was one against the Titans.
The Roosters earlier in the year on Anzac Day.
Where they're just like there and they're like close and they have this opportunity and then but they took it. So credit to them for hanging on in there, especially after such an emotional week of losing your coach. And what about the scene, seeing Ryan Carr in the box just banging on the banging on the glass?
Well, him and Robbo were both so animated. Robbo's not normally that animated.
Yeah.
He was like really riding every play and
it's interesting times ahead for the Roosters, especially losing.
Cheese out for 8 weeks.
Cheese is gone.
We're going to speak about the Victor Radley headbutt as well, but in a second. And I mean, the other one is the Gold Coast Titans. Like their second half things, I actually just can't wrap my head around.
It's insane.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
I actually put a bet on the doggies at halftime when they were down. I was like, may as well.
Yeah.
They blow halftime leads all the time. I mean,
mate, you can't wrap your head around it. You can't, and it's just it keeps on happening. And like I was calling that game with Gordon Townsend, like Dogs v Titans, we're both associated with the opposite clubs. It was just, Charlie. You know what? I don't know. Sometimes the subconscious can be so powerful, and then you're up, and then it's like, oh no, here we go again. What are we going to do to stop that? They probably I need a psychologist in there. Perhaps they've already got one. You need an expert in the mind.
What's the halftime message?
Well,
Is he focusing on that
Well,
at
that's
halftime?
it. Like,
I hope he's not, because
okay. Do you address it? Do you not? Does it? You reverse engineer it a lot of the time based on the outcome. But then, so the outcome is we got chased down. So you reverse engineer it. What did I do at half time? I spoke about doing what we did in the first half. All right, did that work? No. Okay, do it again. Reverse engineer it. Didn't speak about it. Didn't speak about the hoodoo. Didn't speak about our second half fade outs. We had one anyway. So they need closer inspection from a professional.
Some of their things in that second half, like the kick chase in particular.
Well, there was only Tina.
I was watching that game going, wow, no one's kick chasing. Dave Fafita is so devastating in attack, but with those kick chases, he was sort of just like walking.
Well, if it wasn't for Tino, wouldn't be in that game. And I feel sorry for him, man, because he fronts up every single week.
Yeah.
Like he could not try any harder for that team.
I feel so happy for him that he gets to go into Origin now. He can get suspended. He can just go in there, have some fun. Unfortunately, Queensland are probably going to lose. But
yeah, and I'll tell you what, mate, all the craziness of the results, like Parramatta, who people were writing off, they beat the most informed team of the competition. Like, first off, it just speaks volumes to how good this competition is.
Yeah.
But, in most of the years, that result, based on how the two teams are performing, we're all talking about it. Oh, how good were Para? But it's not, because it's how good were the Bulldogs, who were down near the bottom, Dragons, Tigers. Like, they all win.
Yeah. I think maybe even all the bottom four won. Could be wrong about that.
Because I think Cowboys are in the bottom four.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah. But you're right, Parramatta. That's incredible. This competition is wide open. It's so, I think we've spoken about it so much, but the fact that the Panthers have lost some players has just been so good for the rest of the league, because it's really tightened things back up. Yeah,
the pack's got bigger. They're still an amazing football team. Their defense is sensational. The goal line defense that Penrith have, that's what they're putting hanging their hat on, pinning their hopes on. Like, it's phenomenal.
I'd want to be on the Panthers if I was betting. I'd still want to be on them this year, I think. Anyway, let's move on to the bunker. There's a few different incidents, because the bunker's had another shocking weekend. The bunker is just a mess. It's a complete mess at the moment. We've got the Victor Radley headbutt. Okay, he ends up getting suspended for 3 weeks. That is not a sin bin. How?
Well, you know how you know it is, because you could see Victor just go, oh, what have I done? And you could almost see he's waiting to get sent. He's like almost walking off. He's like engaging with the ref. He sees report, and then he's just waiting for the ref to put his hand up. It doesn't happen. Why?
I don't know. I thought that all of a sudden headbutting is now allowed on the. You're going to get suspended for 3 weeks, but you can go out there and headbutt people and stay on the field.
This is part of it, about the inconsistencies between what a referee sees at ground level, what the fans, the commentators at home see on the TV and the available angles, and that's the same as what the bunkers see in replay, versus what the match review committee see later on. So there's a disconnect. Yeah. And there's a lack of a lack of similarity on what is a penalty, what is a reportable offence, what is a sin bin, and what is a send-off, and what should be given games for in retrospect. It's like, come on, guys.
Get on the same page.
It's not. It's difficult to be on the same page, but it's not that difficult when you've got all this technology available to you. When you've got the conversations that we can have, you've got time to prepare. Like, these are paid professionals now, and I know they've got a difficult job, but they've got to get more of these decisions right. Like, the reason we bring in the bunker is to stop the howls. Like, if a bunker isn't going to send Victor Radley for 10 minutes, what's the point in it being there? Like, and I don't want to see Victor. I don't want to see him sin binned. I really like him. I've got a lot of time for him. Spent some time with him in England camp last year. But even he knew he should have been sin binned. And then the match review committee turn around and go, 3 weeks. Like, a lot of people are saying he should have been sent off. And you put yourself in the Bunker's position. If he'd have been sent off, would there have been an outcry?
No, probably not. Maybe.
Like, oh, it's too harsh. Not as much of an outcry of he didn't even get sin binned.
Yeah.
It's just a penalty. Well, it wasn't even a penalty.
No, it
First offence was on Lomax.
on Lomax, yeah, for the dropping the elbow. So it was a penalty to the Roosters. Yeah.
But when you throw that in the mix, that's bizarre. Like the Reece Walsh one that we're going to talk about.
Well, I think this feeds in quite nicely because Victor Radley, that's one where the Bunker's like, what on earth are you doing? And then this is another one where it's like, what is the actual point of the Bunker? The Bunker was going to award the try. The referee gets in his head senses, no, it doesn't look quite right.
Yeah.
The referee's looking at a big screen television at the top of the stadium. The Bunker's going to have a million times better view of what they're looking at. There should be no communication back and forth. That makes it messy.
I think
let the Bunker make.
I think there should be communication at first, and then if the Bunker want to ask the referee a question, that's what can happen. But then I did hear that apparently this isn't that uncommon where the referee is watching it and guiding it, but you'd like to think that the people in the Bunker can make that decision.
Otherwise, let's do what the NFL does and get the screens on the field and have the referee look at the screen on the field.
No, they do that in the Premier League. I really don't like
the VAR.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're going to be the ones looking at it anyway, get them a TV close to them.
Yeah, so they can look at it as well.
Yeah.
The only thing is, Charlie, it's going to chew up more time.
Yeah.
Like, what's really annoying me is try gets scored, or it looks like a try gets scored. It's awarded. Then we're in the commentary box, or the fans at home are watching it, and it's like, oh, hang on, that might be there. And then the referee goes, time off. We're going to check it. It's like, Bunker have already checked it.
Yeah.
Because we were all at home or in the commentary box and seen it. We know it's not a try.
Yeah.
So let's speed up the decision-making process. Let's always look to get the right decision, but we can speed up the decision-making process by, as soon as that try looks like it's been scored, start looking at it. Then don't award the try, and then the Bunker can go, no, the ref can go blow up and go, this is why, and then the Bunker just tell the referee and the fans why it's not a try, show the example, and we play on. And the players, it would be frustrating at first, but then you've got to trust in the Bunker that's got that right, because it's not, even if you go, let's have a look at that, and you see it 3 or 4 times, after we've already seen it 3 or 4 times, it's not going to change the mentality of the player.
No.
Whether or not they get the right explanation. They're not going to hit it, and it's not going to change. I just don't like this, how slow.
I hate it. It's all that is
games
you
are
know what
going
that is
forever.
though? You know what that is though?
What?
That's just to get the crediting away, because that's sponsored the Bunker. So they have to then go through that replay process, because otherwise then they lose that partnership.
Well, can't you just say this is would still go to the Bunker?
Yeah, I know, but they go through that. That's the only reason I can see why they're going through those replays, because they go through it and they know what they're doing. Do you know what really shocked me the other? There was a try over the weekend where it was awarded a try. They went up to the Bunker and then they stayed with the try decision.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yes,
what are you doing?
Yeah, because normally when you see and go, oh, you think,
oh, it's going to be no try.
They're not going to. Yeah, there was one.
I think it might have been the Dragons-Roosters game. It could not have been. It might have,
there was an example that we were at.
Yeah.
It was either
Sunday or
Friday.
Yeah. Because then, I mean, to be fair, I think the Reece Walsh one was the right decision. I think that was no try.
Yeah.
But then you get other stuff as well. So that Doggies game, the Reed Marnie hip drop, that's never a hip drop. That's just a tackle.
That was bollocks. It was and this is the issue with players staying down. Like, I can't even remember who it was on. It might have been.
No, I can't remember.
And like, they stayed down with a bit of a grass to their leg. They stayed on the field though. It might have even been like Tino or something. I can't even remember. One of Gold Coast forwards probably. that I wouldn't want to mess with.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to mess. I'm not saying I would want to mess with them or tell them to get up and that, but mate, we've got to stop players staying down, because there's an environment now where any sort of contact to that lower limb, any contact, they're going to stay down because they know they can get a penalty. Let's take that away from them. That wasn't a hip drop. The player shouldn't have stayed down. He went down quite theatrically, but then he was fine. Get him off the field then. Because if you're going to stay down to the extent that you can't play the ball, we are playing a contact sport, you will get hurt. It's okay to push through that pain barrier. But if you legit do something, then yeah, of course, you don't get up. If you're just a bit, you felt contact there, you don't stay down. This is buying into what happened in football. Players are coached. Any form of contact, you go down. You play for the contact to go down in soccer. You do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. We can't have it in rugby where players now, I don't know if they're being coached it, but they're wise enough to know, I'm going to stay down. And then it calls like a bit of a melee. That player should just get up and play the ball. It was never a hip drop. And then to make matters worse, the bunker award a penalty for that. Can you imagine that? May 31st. To win an Origin?
Yeah, 18 all.
18 all.
Yeah.
And that's the example we always go to, but it was a horrible weekend for the bunker.
And then the thing is, he's not charged at all.
Yeah.
So if
it's not a hip drop, it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. I think it is probably one of the things that frustrates fans the most, because what we love about rugby league is the physicality of it all. And it's not football. We don't need diving. We don't need flopping. Let's just get up and play the ball.
And in today's society as well, it's hard to turn around to someone. And we see sometimes players trying to get up and play the ball quickly, and the referee will go, milking. No, you're trying to milk that. But if a player goes down with a leg injury or a suspected head injury, they're not going to go, you're milking that, because it'd be questioning its interpretation, right? And it's subjective. So, and no referee worth their salt would even ever question someone's head injury. That you can't do that. He didn't get you high. Get up, play the ball. You'd never referee a game again, and be saying with any contact with the leg, what are you trying to say? I'm not. He did get me, and it is sore. And then watch them make up. He went for a scan. It's a grade 0.3 meniscus. The referees are now doctors, are you? That's what it would be.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be. So the referees can't say, get up, mate. He didn't touch you. You're fine. That's not a hip drop. You're fine. You know the way to do it? Get them off. I said it half jokingly, make them go on a stretcher in clown suits, and the ground goes into and then the clowns keep have you ever seen those skits where one of them's going backwards and then they pick it up, and just make them go off like that?
Yeah. Go for a leg HIA.
Yeah.
A leg assessment. Leg injury assessment. LIA. That's good to have a good whinge about the bunker, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we've not even got onto Tim Sheen's blown
up Tim Sheen's. And the other thing, actually, was the bunker awarding a penalty for excessive contact.
Which one was
that? Was in the Broncos game on Thursday. I was watching Channel 9 call, and Fatty Vorton was blowing up about it. A player came in, hit James Fisher-Harris came in, hit the player who was held up, and then penalty for excessive contact.
Yes.
I don't know what that even means.
That's not the first time that's happened previously this year.
Yeah, it's not. I don't even know what that means, though, excessive contact. Isn't every tackle excessive contact?
Well,
isn't rugby league excessive contact?
Yeah. Mate, they need to get this bunker situation sorted out there. Tim Sheen's blew up. He said he was going to have a go this week, didn't he? I think they've got the bye. Obviously, a big win. Yeah. How crazy is that? You're the coach, under pressure, all the crap that's been happening around the Tigers all year. They win 66, whatever. And he's going to give the bunker a serve this week. They'll be here why would you ever be a coach?
No, but it was so good for him. I reckon that's
it's passion,
but he's
care.
Not satisfied as well. They've won 66. He's like, no, we want more.
I know.
And also, then he had a crack at them for all the people on Twitter he told everyone to shove their Twitter up their ass, and Oh, it was brilliant.
Tim Sheen's on social media.
Tim Sheens will be on the buy round soon as well.
I'm looking forward to that.
Working
Can
on
ask
that.
him about his Twitter following and handle. And what I think it is good to see a coach get passionate in defense, and it's the time to do it after a win. But I just wish he was a little bit more like, oh, I'm stoked for that. Like, and even like he's talking about Brooksy, it was like there was still a bit in him where he was like, he couldn't quite celebrate. He's just like, I'm going to tell a lot of bunker and the Twitter people. It's like, just
Even Appy was laughing at the
yeah.
press
Oh,
conference.
mate, there's no better place sometimes. Like, I enjoyed my role as captain at the Bulldogs, but sometimes those press conferences, like sat next to Des Hasler, like I'd just be like, oh my God, where is this guy going? And the best thing was, like, I used to enjoy it because we'd be sat side by side and you got your media there. I don't think they were all filmed then. No, they weren't. They weren't always filmed, sometimes just written. But anyway, so I can see the media, and at the back of the room, Raylene Castle, the CEO, would stand. So I used to enjoy, like, I'd be like looking, listening to Des, but I'd be watching her reaction to what he was saying, and you could just see the journalists just going, doing this, and you could just see her just going, oh no. And I'd be going, like happy, the half smirk smile where you think, I could go here.
Yeah.
Like I could, like, how inappropriate would it be if I just, like, you know, when you just can't help it, you go at the wrong time. I had plenty of those moments where I'd just be like, biting on the lip, just going, don't, and just poor old Raylene at the back, just like shaking her head and just thinking, oh no,
Another fine for me to pay.
yeah. That's exactly it.
Because you haven't had have you had the team talk before the press conference, or is the press conference before the team talk?
The post-match address usually comes first, and then you go in and
so you know if he's happy or not going into that presser, don't you?
yeah, but obviously in front of the boys, like, so Tim Sheens would have got the group together, sing the song, celebration for Brooks, yeah. And he probably would have jokingly said something, and I think Gary should have had a try, and that, but like, and you're thinking, yeah, you know, like, we'll sing the song, yeah, and then you follow him in, and then you'd be like, oh God, are you serious? I love those. I love the emotions of coaches. I love the emotions of human beings. It's just so funny to see the contrast. You're right, mate. The contrast between Sheens and Appy. Like, you know, if you were to, like, bring a punter in, they've not seen the game, but they just watched the press conference, and you could only see Tim Sheens. You're like, how do you reckon the Tigers got on today?
Yeah.
But we're like, did
They got dudded on the bell today for an offhand
like,
try.
yeah, did offhand Gary score and it got disallowed, and it should have been, and cost them the victory. But yeah, it's funny as well because those teams have got some history after last year, don't they?
Mm. Yes, that's right. They got robbed, didn't they?
There was a balaclava involved. Yeah.
The other one, Jimmy, as well. I'm pretty sure this was your time when Desi Hasler called Ben Cummins Voldemort, and they who shall not be named.
Yes, he'd been thinking about that for a long time. You could just tell, like, Des was brilliant because he is a really funny guy. Like, he is comical. He's, like, good for a laugh. I think it was the time when they basically, the NRL tried to, like, stamp out any talk of the referee's performance post game or in the game. You couldn't criticize them. So he was like, oh, I've not even seen Harry Potter. I've not even seen it. And I was like, I remember seeing it I was like, oh my God. Like, that's worse, Des. Like, you're making it worse here. Like, you're not making it better by, like, giving them a nick. Those that cannot be spoken about. Like, Matt, you're trying to play the game, but it was his way. That's his way of being funny. But, like,
did he get fined for that? He would have got, wouldn't he?
I don't think he did. I think he got.
So it worked.
He wormed his way around it. Whether or not he got the design, like, he got a laugh. Like the lads.
Did you guys take the piss out of it?
Of course. We were like, oh, didn't realise you were a Harry Potter fan, Des. Like, yeah, apparently.
Expelliarmus.
Yeah, man, I don't even know what that means. Apparently, he's one of the. Mate, you know what's weird? I remember being out on a night out once, in Liverpool back home, and walking through the street, and W.H. Smith's, which is a bookstore.
Yeah.
It's like massive queue outside W.H. Smith's, like, and loads of people in like fancy dress. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, is this like some sort of underground club? Like everyone's like dressed up. They were queuing to get the Harry Potter book. It came out at midnight.
Really?
Yes. So it got released, like the release date.
Yeah.
They were queuing up to get it at midnight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was on TV once.
Thought I was tripping.
Harry. It must have been a big night.
I was like,
You start lining up. Hey.
Someone put me beer here, but yeah, they were queuing up. So yeah, obviously, you know, the Liverpool locals on the town just walked past pleasantly and didn't give them any abuse about their love for Harry Potter. But yeah,
Well, that's it for us then, Jimmy.
it's it.
Brandon Smith, we're back.
Hopefully the cheese hasn't gone off. The cheese hasn't gone sour
Or melted.
or melted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up for the cheese. It was funny seeing him on Triple M the next day. I saw a couple of the socials and his thumb's just stuck like that. It looks like he's giving the thumbs up while he's talking. It's like he's trying to make a serious point and he's like, yep. Like,
So now a tough loss for the Roosters?
yeah. Yeah. No, it's a flop. Just to say thumbs up. Oh, dear. But yeah. Get well soon, cheese. We'll see you this week, mate. Thanks for listening to Midweek Matters. We will catch you next week.